Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. I have been asked with organizers to speak about the Adhyasa Bhashya of Shankaracharya. This is the preface for the Sutra Bhashya, actually. In other words, this preface is intended to connect the listener, the reader, to the first sutra of the Bramha Sutra Bhashya. Bramha Sutra Bhashya, the first sutra, happens to be Athato Brahma Jignasa. Ataha Brahma Jignasa means after acquiring the sadhana sampatti, that is the competence to listen to the Shastra, we start discussing about Brahman. This is the theme of the sutra. Therefore, before starting the discussion of the sutra, it is necessary to say what exactly is the connection between the listener and the topic of discussion. Therefore, this preamble is absolutely necessary for the correct grasp of the Bhashya, the ensuing Bhashya. Now, the gist there is, the common person, man, is immersed in so much of worldly activities which infrequently leads to pleasure and more frequently leads to grief. Therefore, one is not naturally very happy with this situation because he is constantly in pursuit of happiness. Therefore, the Shastra promises that the pursuit of happiness in the way that common people do is not the right approach for getting unblemished happiness. For obtaining unblemished happiness, one needs to know oneself. In other words, one needs to know what exactly his inherent nature is. Now, if the Shastra says one has to know one's inherent nature, it obviously implies that he does not know it already. But now, if this is the implication, a common man is utterly confused because he is accustomed to only knowing only things other than himself. Therefore, he frequently comes across the situation where he understands something or he does not understand something. But at no time has he any doubts about himself. Because it is presumed that he knows who he is, what he is. Okay. So, in what way does he know? He says, I'm a boy, I'm an young man, I become an old man, or I'm a girl, I'm a young lady, I become an old woman like this. In other words, following the body, on the basis of the body. Similarly, on the basis of his intellectual abilities, or on the basis of his physical abilities, he identifies himself as one with them and describes himself like this. And he doesn't see anything wrong in this, because it's so obviously correct. It does not need any discussion at all. But the remarkable analysis of Shankaracharya convinces any common person that he is under an illusion. What is the illusion? The illusion is that he knows himself as so and so is certainly wrong, not at all correct. Now, what has Shankaracharya to show? What has Shankaracharya to do to demonstrate that I do not know myself? Okay. When I say I do not know myself, there must be what I usually call as myself, I myself, with which I am very familiar. There must be another I with which I am not familiar, about which I don't know. Therefore, is there some personality of myself which I do not know? Remember this? What does it mean? It means that I should be able to recognize that also as myself, and also recognize that I do not know myself. It's only then that if Shankaracharya says, okay, you don't know yourself, then I will develop faith in that statement. Otherwise, it does not. Anybody says, I don't know myself, I simply reject that statement outright. Unless one is able to convince me about that statement. Therefore, it boils down to this. Is there one aspect of mine which I do not know? Yeah. Shankaracharya says, yes, it is there. How? Says, in the following way, he does not use any Shastra. He does not use any big logic. There is no tarka involved here. The whole thing is simply straightforward. It simply goes like a bullet, straight. That is, he shows, based on my own experience, he shows that I don't know a certain aspect of myself. And another thing is, what I know to be myself already, that is totally erroneous. Okay. Therefore, he proves these statements based on my own experience. It will be impossible to reject this conclusion at the end. You know, what is it? It says, look here, you have got three experiences. Now the experiences are, you have the wakeful state, and you have the dream state, and you have the deep sleep state. The wakeful state is called Jagrat. The dream state is called Swapna. And the deep sleep state in which there are no dreams either, that's called Sushupti. Okay. In Jagrat, I am described as Bahishprajna. Bahishprajna means I am getting the knowledges of all the objects external to me. What does it mean external to me? Means external to the boundaries of my body. Therefore, I am a knower of things external to myself. Therefore, I am called Bahishprajna. Okay. Now, this Bahishprajna, how does he recognize things? Whenever he sees an object, a shadow of the object falls on his eyes, on the retina of the eyes. Okay. Then that message is communicated to the mind. He analyzes it, and his intellect decides the object is so and so. This message is passed on to his ego, Ahankara. And finally, I know the object. I say, I have understood the object. I know this object. So I am the knower here. Now, in this process of knowing, there is an alignment of my internal faculties, like my ego, my buddhi, the intellect, and the mind, my manas, and the indriya, and the object. They are in alignment. It's only then that I will be able to get this proper understanding of the object. Now, this is called, finally the intellectual thought, the image of the object, that is called pratyaya. Pratyaya. And the object itself is a gochara. Gochara is perceivable, perceived object. Okay. Therefore, the perceived object is the gochara, and its pratyaya is the shadow of the object. Of course, in this description, I have been considering only the sight point, namely looking through the eyes. Okay. But this includes one further other sense organs also. Okay. Like the ears, the skin, the nose, and the tongue. Okay. They also produce similarly pratyayas in the buddhi, which I grasp. Therefore, all shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasagandha, they are all gocharas only. Okay. Now, this is the whole process of knowing external objects. This is the wakeful state. Now, next let us go to the state interior to this. Because of the action of the indriyas, or they get tired, Therefore, they go to rest. It's not possible for them to work. Because the indriyas are grosser than the mind, they get tired earlier. But the mind is not so quickly tired. It continues to be functioning. It is that state where only the mind, the manas is acting, but not the indriyas. That is called the dream state, swapna. Yeah. Now, what happens is the following. All the pratyas that are recorded during Jagrat, wakeful state, they are all stored in the mind. Now, the stored memories themselves become objects for observation in dreams. Now, in the observation of these memories, you don't find the usual order that you see during the wakeful state. The reason is the following. In the wakeful state, the mind is actually leashed, it is controlled by the external world. Therefore, generally it does not run amok. But in the case of dream, the mind is totally free from the external world, from the clutches of the external world, and therefore it simply goes on running from memory to memory, even at the slightest connection of sadrishya, that similarity. Okay. Therefore, anything even remotely similar to what I am seeing now becomes the next object for observation in dreams. Okay. Therefore, the dream experiences are chaotic. Okay. In other words, it is described as there is no kartsnya. What is kartsnya? Kartsnya is a well-ordering of space, time and causality. Okay. It is not there. Everyone knows it. Now here also, what is happening is the following. The objects I am seeing are really not objects. They are only the impressions of the objects. Okay. And though I come to know of this statement only after I wake up, at that time itself, what I am seeing looks like object itself during that time of the dreams. I treat them as real and all that. Okay. But one remarkable thing is the following. Now, it is a night where there is no sunlight or moonlight or even the light of the stars. Because I have closed my eyes and even slept, certainly there is no scope for any external light at all to go there, enter there. Nevertheless, the whole dream world is as illumined as in the wakeful state. In the wakeful state, we have got external lights, and the external objects are also illuminated. But there are no external lights, but still the illumination is there. Okay. Therefore, one question that is posed by the Shastra is the following. Which is this light? Okay. Now the answer to this question need not necessarily come from the Shastra. I can get the answers by analyzing my own experience. Okay. Here, certainly there are no external lights. Therefore, the light that I see there is not external. It should be internal. How internal it is? In what way it could be? Internal means it could be only in this way. See, all the external objects have been photographed in the buddhi, which are already illuminated. Because they are already illuminated, that illumination contains actually the aspect of light as such. Therefore, I don't need any external light. It appears like this. In other words, the light that is experienced in dreams is actually the light that is already recorded from the state of wakefulness. Therefore, it is a property of the mind itself. It appears like that. But actually, this conclusion would not be correct, because mind itself is an inert object. It's an inert object. This is how, say, it cannot contain light by itself. Let us see. For example, in wakeful state, I see the sun. Sun is illuminated by sun itself. It does not need any other light. Therefore, I see the sun. But the picture of the sun I get in my mind is not equal to the sun. It is only a picture of the sun. A picture of the sun does not contain light at all. We know it. Because nowadays, you see, the movie records, the film is recorded. Then, if you want to look at the movie and get the impression of the actual sun, then you will have to illuminate it with another light and look in the cinema theater. No. Similarly, here also, what is recorded in the mind is being witnessed as an object. Therefore, obviously, the light is internal, but certainly not, this light does not belong to the mind as such. The mind contains only the impression of the sun. Therefore, another light is necessary to illuminate this impression so that I could see it. Okay. What light could it be? What light could it be? This is the most important question. Now, only I am there, the mind is there, and the impressions are there. And the light does not belong either to the impression or to the mind. Therefore, it has to be mine only. Just by our own logic. Okay. Now comes the question, who am I in that case? Okay. This is already, we recognize this. When Shankaracharya analyzes my experiences and tells me that, you are yourself of the nature of light, I just laugh at the sentence. There is no meaning in that sentence. But Shankaracharya, after he coaxes me to analyze my own experience, then I certainly am able to conclude by myself that whoever I am, the light could be mine. It is not outside. Okay. Now the question comes, here I am viewing there all the impressions, though I recognize them as objects only. Now this light is internal. Therefore, in this process, I am called Antah Prajna. What is Antah Prajna? That is all the prajna, that is the knowledges I am getting, are only inward. They are not knowledge of external objects. They are only knowledge of the internal objects. That is a knowledge of the knowledges. Okay. Therefore, I am called antah-prajna, the internal knower, as distinct from the external knower, bahish-prajna. Okay. Therefore, there must be another I. What is this another I? Am I many? See, just now. For instance, you know that in wakeful state you are bahish-prajna. You are bahish-prajna, you are indulging in only understanding the external objects. Now, when you are getting dream experiences, there is a big vital difference. What is that? The I who is bahish-prajna is recognizing himself through the body. As I say, though the eyes are seeing, okay, and the mind is analyzing, the buddhi is recognizing, okay, I say, I am seeing this, I am understanding this, I have analyzed it. Who are you? I am so and so, I am a man, I am a woman. Therefore, the body and its components, he identifies himself with that absolutely, without any trace of doubt. Therefore, he feels with the body. But see, in the case of dream state, this body of the wakeful state, with which he had an identity, this body is actually laying down the bed. Okay. But my own experiences in dream is that I am wandering elsewhere. Okay. Now see here, if I am this grass body of the wakeful state, okay, and when it is sleeping on a bed, I can't be moving somewhere else. But certainly, my experience is there. It is my experience that I am going somewhere. In fact, my experiences are even crazy. I don't feel they are crazy at that time itself. I know they are crazy after I woke up. Okay, whatever it is, I will be flying on mountains. Okay, the body is lying down here. Therefore, there is an I which is sleeping here, and there is an I which is moving around there. Therefore, there are two eyes already. Because simultaneously, the two eyes cannot be working. The eye of the wakeful state is sleeping. The eye of the dream state is wandering. The two cannot be the same. Okay. Now comes the question. But I am there. There is no doubt about it. I am in the wakeful state. I am also in the dream state. But I am different from the wakeful state. That is, I am different from this grass body. Therefore, this is another I which is internal. In other words, you see, to tell it more specifically or more elaborately, the Bahish Prajna who is understanding things in the wakeful state is not different from me who is in the dream state. But the dream state person is different from this Bahish Prajna. He is different. Okay. Therefore, let us come back to our discussion, what we did previously. Now, the question is, in the dream state, the light, we concluded, does not belong to the mind, it has to belong to myself. Okay. Then you are asking with wonder, do you mean to say I have many eyes? I am only one eye? No. already you have seen that you have two eyes. One is the Bahish Prajna and the next is Antah Prajna. Therefore, don't jump to the conclusion that there cannot be a third eye. A third eye is also possible. Who is the third eye? It's very simple. Actually, you enter into the deep sleep state. What has happened? What has happened is the following. I have withdrawn, when I entered from wakeful state to the dream state, I have withdrawn myself from the body and the indriyas, the gross body and the indriyas. But I am holding on to the mind, the intellect. Okay. But now, the mind is also getting tired. Why? Because there what is happening, the mind is flip-flops between the object and myself. What does it mean? It means the mind, when it's concentrating on the object, it takes that shape. In the same mind, when I know, it comes back to me. Therefore, the same mind is shuttling between the imagined object in the dream and also here. Because they're shunting, it also gets tired. Okay. Now, when it's tired, it can no longer function. Therefore, even that ceases to work, just like the indriyas stopped their work after the wakeful state. Now, I enter into sushupti, that is the deep sleep. The characteristic of deep sleep is that it does not have dreams also, either. That is, there is absolutely no connection with the mind. Incidentally, just as a side remark, I would like to say that the process of getting deep sleep, according to the Shruti, is that the Udana Vayu of the Pancha Pranas. There are 5 pranas. Udana Vayu is the one. And Udana Vayu will be normally supplying oxygen to the brain. Now, it limits the supply of oxygen to the brain. Therefore, the mind cannot function. Therefore, the mind takes rest in the nadis. Okay. Incidentally, this shows that in the process of respiration, generally called prana, I've got pancha pranas. Generally, the Western science recognizes only 4 pranas: prana, apana, vyana, and samana. That is, breathing out, breathing in, and holding the breath, and also digestion. But it does not know that there is another prana. It's called Udana Vayu. And its function is the following. Okay, this is a side remark. Now here. Now, here, look at the wonder of wonders. Now I have entered into Sushupti. Okay. Sushupti is the most mysterious thing. People talk of 7 wonders of the world and all that. Sushupti certainly belongs to this world. But there is no mystery, there is no more mysterious thing than this. I would like to enumerate some of the features of this Sushupti. The most remarkable thing is, at that time, I just don't know who I am. I just don't know who I am. Okay. Not that I don't know myself at that time only. Even after waking up, I just don't know who he is. Now say another thing. Though I have absolutely no trace of an idea of who I am there, it's very mysterious that I do not deny my existence there. I am there. In fact, how is it vindicated? After I wake up, after one wakes up, anybody else spontaneously had a sound sleep. I didn't know anything. Okay. Incidentally, what is sound sleep? You know? Sleep in which the body produces a lot of sound in the form of snoring. Okay, that is called sound sleep. Okay. Therefore, when you enter into sound sleep, after you get up, you know that you were there. You also describe him. How do you describe him? I did not know anything at the moment. I just had a blissful sleep. That is actually, you are recognizing yourself. Recognizing yourself. You would never say that you are absent. Okay? You never say you are absent. You are there. But look at the mystery. It is deeper than that. When you are recognizing yourself in deep sleep state, when you have woken up, you don't recognize him as you would recognize objects. For instance, when I notice an object, I describe it. Okay. Oh, this is short, this is tall, this is fat, this is slim, so on and so forth. I can describe it. Whereas, why? Because I see some sort of a shape, some sort of a deformity, something special with which I can describe that object. Or sometimes I describe things by their activity. It's moving, it's not moving, things like that. But here, the remarkable, wonderful thing is, there is absolutely no indication at all of anything that is recognizable. There is not even any activity. Not even any activity. But still, I do not fail to recognize my own existence. I am there. I mean, it's only a crooked person who can say, oh, how do you say I was there? No, I was not there. Okay. It's only a crooked person who does not know how to argue. Okay. Because when so harsh about logic in that place is for the following reason. See, knowing is an activity. When there is an activity of knowing, there will certainly be logic can be brought in. Now, it is obvious that I am not seeing him, seeing myself there. I am not seeing. I am not listening. I am not perceiving by any sense. Not only that, I am not perceiving even by the mind. I cannot, because it was not there. Therefore, when there is no scope at all to recognize him, I am still recognizing. This is my experience. This is called aparoksha. Aparoksha is an experience which is neither pratyaksha nor paroksha. What is pratyaksha? Direct perception. What is paroksha? Indirect perception. It is neither direct nor indirect. It is just your own experience. Therefore, one who wants to deny a universal experience, thinking that he is arguing very cleverly, is actually a stupid argument. Therefore, we reject such arguments. Okay. But mind this, that I do recognize myself as existing. And I also know how, I don't know. How, nobody can say. I also know that I was not connected with the body. I was not connected with the indriyas. I was not connected with the mind. In fact, I was not connected with anything in the world. I do know I lived all alone. Okay. Therefore, now comes the question. Everybody is able to see three myselfs here. What are the three myselfs? As a Bahishprajna, I am seeing, as an Antahprajna, and there I am Prajnanaghana. What is Prajnanaghana? Prajnanaghana is like this. See, in wakeful state, there are many different variegated knowledges. Okay. And in dream also, there are variegated knowledges of knowledges. Okay. Therefore, this variety, this multiplicity of knowledges does not vanish, but actually it is covered up by a sort of a darkness. That is Prajnanaghana. That is, I am not able to see any multiplicity, any duality. Okay. Now, let us remind ourselves once again, in Sushupti, I am there, it is my experience, nobody can deny it and argue me out. It is not possible. Okay, it's my experience. And I am all alone there. I know I am disconnected from the body and all that. Okay. I know all this much. There is not somebody convincing me by a complicated argument. It is just my own understanding. After gracefully Shankaracharya has pointed out this. See a remarkable thing here. Shankaracharya has not used one single Shruti mantra, Veda, quotation, any pramana. No pramana is there to demonstrate that I exist here, different from the body, totally disconnected from the body. Okay. No wonderful arguments, no mantras, nothing of the sort. Just by analyzing one's own experience, he has to arrive at this conclusion. Okay. Therefore, let us come back. Therefore, what does it mean? It means that, when I wake up, I just totally become blind to all this analysis. Okay. And I recognize myself through the body. I am man, woman, etc. And run after things. For what I do this running? Because I want to get pleasure. The moment I get up, I say, charity hai? Is there newspaper? Put the TV on. Okay. I am in search of happiness now. See, the mystery of mysteries is this. There in deep sleep state, there were absolutely not a single object from which I could derive pleasure. There is no music to hear. Okay. There was something palpable we can touch there, soft or something like that. There is nothing to see. There is nothing to taste. There is nothing to smell. Okay. I am totally disconnected from all such things. But wonder says, when I stay like that, I am already happy. I say, I confess that I had a blissful sleep. Now, it is common experience that if just I shut up myself alone, then I am already blissful. Okay. But now the moment I get up, I run after objects in search of pleasure. Is it not the biggest paradox in life? Okay? Let us be grateful to Shankaracharya. He is thrashing out all madness from me. He is convincing me that I am a stupid person. I had insufferable arrogance. Oh, I am this, I am that. What do you think of me? This was my attitude. No, he has convinced me that actually I don't know myself. Therefore, he has convinced me of my stupidity. Stupidity can't go beyond this. Okay. Therefore, how does he point out? He points out in this like this. So there you are. You are the nucleus. Yourself in Sushupti, you are the nucleus. Okay. You cover yourself with the mind, the intellect and all that. Then you become an antah-prajna. There also you run after knowledges. Okay. Afterwards you cover yourself with the grass body also. And then you run after also objects. Okay. And you have never tried even to analyze your own experiences, but indulge in activity here. And you call yourself as a man, young man, etc., etc., etc. Therefore, when you are recognizing yourself as a boy, man, etc., is it not obvious that your knowledge about yourself is a mistake? Your knowledge of yourself is erroneous, faulty. This faulty knowledge of yourself is called Adhyasa. According to Shankara, Adhyasa is not a mystery. It's not a mystery. Though generally we hear that is a mystery. There is nothing mystery there. Just plain stupidity. That's all. Adhyasa. See, mystery, the mind will not be stupid. When you are seeing a mystery, there is something, it is not stupid. It is observing something which it has not observed. But you do have some intelligence there. But here it is crass stupidity. Because I am going out of my own experience. I am even not prepared to analyze myself. Okay. Therefore, this sort of stubbornness and stupidity. Okay. I am committing myself this error. I am recognizing myself wrongly. Okay. Therefore, you do exist, free from all this, and you don't know yourself. You are doing Adhyasa. This is the crux of Adhyasa Bhashya. Please don't mystify it. Adhyasa Bhashya is simply straightforward and simple to the core. It does not need any big logic. Okay. Therefore, now so many questions will crop up here. Because when I recognize my mistake, of course, it is undeniable. It has been pointed out to me, and according to my own experience, I was totally different from the body, not at all connected with it. But nevertheless, as soon as I wake up, I am identifying myself with that. Therefore, this is downright faulty. Downright faulty. And on the basis of this faulty understanding, I am leading my whole life. See how the whole thing grows? It grows like this. I say, I am a man. Certainly, I was not at all a man in my sushupti. I was not that. Okay. And because I am a man, I am attracted by woman. Okay. Then I want her. Afterwards I want a house. Afterwards I want children. Afterwards I want vehicle. I want this, I want that, I want that. You go. Okay. Life is becoming more and more complicated. Okay. At the root cause of all this activity is a wrong understanding. In fact, the whole thing looks more like a cruel joke actually. Okay. Nobody can imagine that all my activities are based on stupidity. Okay. So, this entire discussion that you have heard now, Shankaracharya tells it like this, the following way. He says, see, in the case of external objects, okay, so all external objects, as I told you, we are getting awareness of that. We know that they are external objects. Okay. I know I am different from that. Okay. So, he calls this as, that is a gochara, that is experienceable as an object. That is a vishaya, it is an object. Okay. So, he says, yushmadasmat pratyaya gocharayoho vishaya vishayinoho tava prakashvat viruddha svabhavayoho, he says. The sentence is not completed. Yeah. Now see here. Yushmadasmat pratyegocharyoho means all the external objects as recognized as different from me. Okay. Now, as different from me says, all objects, they are inert objects. Therefore, normally he should have called it as idam pratyegochara. What is idam pratyegochara? As this object. Okay. But what Shankaracharya does is, he says yushmat pratyegochara. Yushmat means you. That is addressing to an animate live person. Okay. As you. Therefore, how is he addressing the external objects? As you, yushmat pratyegochara. This is being made a big discussion. But it's actually very simple. A very complicated analysis is unnecessary here. Because, see, as you have noticed already, the purpose of the whole analysis is to show that I am different from everything else. Everything else. Except myself. When I say everything else, it means everything, including my body, including my mind, including my ego. Because I am free from all these things in my deep sleep. Sushupti. So, Shankaracharya wants to include all these things. All these things. But, he has addressed this as you. Why? Because, see, Shankaracharya's desire is to make you understand this separation. Okay. It is true that I have not separated myself from the body, from my own body, but certainly I differentiate other bodies from myself. Even wife and children. Okay. I address as you. Therefore, when he first says as you, then me, asmat pratyegochara, what has happened is, at least all external objects have been thrown out as you. You are convinced. Okay, so separation is already taken place. Now comes the question, what about this body? My own body. No, he wants to separate that also. Okay. How does he separate? He says, in the next word he says, Vishaya Vishayeno. See, anything that is Vishaya to you is separate from you. You are the Vishayi. You are the knower. And everything else is known. Okay. Now consider this peculiar situation. Suppose he had used the word idam as a neuter gender thing, then he wouldn't understand it. Because idam is myself. This is idam. It's myself, he will say. Therefore, separation, let it be there first, and afterwards let me explain something more. Separation is more important. Therefore, he told Yushmat Asmat Pratyegocharoha and then Vishay Vishinoha. You have separated from other bodies, but you separate yourself from this body also. This he has told by Vishay Vishinoha. Now you see, Tamah Prakashat Viruddha Svabhavayo. Okay? Now, this has already been vindicated in the analysis that is already done. We have already seen in a summary that the light for knowledge is only belonging to yourself. Okay? Now, let me deal with this. in greater detail in the next talk.